Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare and sometimes self-care. So if that's your vibe, please consider hitting subscribe. And you know what time it is. It's time for March favorites. And I almost just said February favorites, but that's how fast March has gone by. So this is the video where I get to share with you all of the skincare and beauty products that made a big impression on me this month. So if you're ready to dive right into the video, give it a big thumbs up and let's get started. So first up is the Cosrx Advanced Snail 92 All-in-One Cream. Are you surprised? I've been talking about this a lot this month. And you know what? This is actually something I tried many years ago, right at the beginning of my K-beauty journey. And it wasn't really right for me at the time because I was using it like as a dedicated final moisturizer. And something about it, I knew it wasn't right for me. So it's kind of a product that I've been like, yep, been there, tried that. And I just kind of have like sidestepped for many years. But fast forward to this month and I decided to order this and give it another try because it really is one of the most popular products from Cosrx, right behind the Snail Essence. And I have pretty much exclusively been using this as a eye booster is what I'm calling it. So this is actually a method I learned from Jude from 50 Shades of Snail. She uses this like an eye cream. So I just take a real small dab of this and apply it really around my under eye, and I usually extend it to like the top of my cheekbones and then on top of my lid. So Snail can really plump the skin. It's so good with like crepey skin or like fine lines. It can really plump and kind of smooth that type of skin out. So it really helps to improve the look of like the under eye area or even on top of the lid. So just, you know, that alone is great for an eye product. But Snail as an ingredient is amazing for that delicate skin around the eyes. It contains natural copper peptides. It's a strong antioxidant. It can help to definitely protect the collagen structure that you already have, which is going to help prevent fine lines and wrinkles from forming. But some studies suggest that it can even maybe help to stimulate a little bit of collagen on the skin. And it's been shown to be very helpful for healing photo damaged skin or, you know, sun damaged skin, which is great because that is often an area where we start to see that kind of show up a little bit more, right? Like the top of the cheekbone and maybe around like the under eye area. So all in all, it's super healing. It's a great well-aging ingredient. It's preventative and it's going to give you that immediate like plumping wow factor. Now the texture here is a little bit different than the Cosrx Snail Essence. This is a little heftier, if you will, and one of my favorite textures. This is so fun because it's quite snaily. It's very like gluey and stringy and mozzarella cheese-like, and I know that that doesn't sound actually very appealing, but I find it super entertaining. I love a good snail texture. This is the snailiest of them all. It's hydrating. It definitely plumps the skin, but then you're gonna feel this moisturization, a little whisper of richness. It's not greasy, but just a little bit of moisture. And then it leaves your skin so silky, soft, and smooth, like irresistibly smooth. And you'll be surprised at how quickly this actually absorbs into the skin, making it particularly effective for the under eye areas. You know, I love a good eye cream. With peptides is usually my jam. There's no peptides in here, so I usually will top this off with a little bit more moisturizing, thicker eye cream that does contain peptides. But this really does kind of boost the benefits of my regular eye cream. This kind of just takes it to the next level, if you will, and it's a great pair. Now, I think if you're like starting your like eye cream journey, this could be all you need. And if you're on a budget, I mean, this is going to last you forever. Even if you put it all over your face and neck, this will still last you a really long time. And it's a great value for this giant jar. Next up is the Logically Skin Brightuning Peptide Ampule. Yes, I said Brightuning because that's how it's spelled. This has actually been a pleasant surprise. I've not tried anything from this brand before, and I love peptides. So I was really like excited to dive into this one. And first and foremost, I will admit my bias for like that emulsion, like hydrating but also moisturizing serum texture, my bias for that is on full display in this video because the minute I saw the texture of this, I was like, yep, I'm gonna try this. I don't know what it is about this texture. It just suits my combination skin so well. It gives my skin exactly what it needs, hydration and moisture in one product, and I just can't get enough of the texture. So this one's interesting because it does look quite creamy, but it's very hydrating actually. There's a good deep hydration to this with just a little bit of moisture. And my skin's really appreciating that now. So weather's like, is it going to be cold? Is it going to be warm? From day to day, it's a little bit different. And so I'm kind of appreciating, you know, the moisture that this brings, but in a lighter format. So just the texture alone, great absorbability, no stickiness, no tackiness. It's like, oh, I love it. I love that type of texture. But that's like just one part of the story, right? The ingredients, because you know I'm peptide crazy. The ingredients are very fascinating here because they're using incredibly novel peptides, which just means that they're new and not really all that studied. That doesn't mean that they're bad or that they're not effective. It's just that they're very new. And I've actually never heard of these before, but as I started to research into them, I started to get a little bit excited. So there's a couple of different peptide branded mixes, if you will, that are in here. One is called Aquatide. Now this is a peptide mixture that is pretty new from Japan, and it really is focused on hydrating the skin, really helping to strengthen your skin's moisture barrier, and it has some well-aging benefits too. So it's really just focused on the health of your skin. Now the other peptide that they're using in here is a mixture called Melatonin. Now this is coming from South Korea, and this is all about targeting dark marks and helping to fade them on the skin. It targets the melanin. So it's got the brightening benefit, which is where the name comes in, the Brightuning. I don't know, that name just gives me a kick. Now there's another peptide solution in here called Equalderm, and I couldn't find that much out about this one, but it does seem like it's more focused on well aging. So it's interesting because these are all brand new peptides that I've not used before or heard much about, but they definitely do hold some promise. And you know, the one thing I'll say about that is I'm always like kind of on the fence about that, because I love the peptides that have a lot of research behind them, like copper peptide or like Matrixyl is a great peptide duo that's really well understood and has, you know, exhibited so many benefits for the skin that you kind of know what you're getting into. Now, when it comes to these newer peptides, you don't really know, you know, what to expect because there's not that many studies and there's not that much like unbiased information out there about them. So you're like, is it going to work for me? Is it not going to work for me? But I'm all for taking the chance. If it sounds interesting to me, I will give it a chance. And I have found that this is definitely helpful for brightening up the skin. I think that's where this really shines. And I mean, obviously it's in the name, so that's what you're going to expect. There's also some niacinamide in here, so that definitely doesn't hurt. But I have found that this gives that really nice, like even glowy complexion. You know, if your skin is a little bit dull, you're looking for like a gentle brightening option. That's where I think this serum has its place. It definitely helps with brightening everything up, maybe helping to fade hyperpigmentation or some dark marks that you might have. I definitely think that this is helpful. It's got a great texture. There's some possible other well-aging benefits in here. You'd have to use it much longer to find out if that's going to be true for you, but the brightening promise definitely delivers. March was a good month for serums because I have another one to share with you, and this is the Biossance Squalane and Copper Peptide Rapid Plumping Serum. Now, as I said, I have a real bias for that emulsion, creamy but hydrating serum type of texture, and that's exactly what this is. I mean, squalane is in the name, and that's really what Biossance has made their name off of, is using squalane oil, which is skin identical. It's a really nice moisturizing ingredient that's not really heavy on the skin. They're also using so many beautiful hydrating ingredients in here that really do plump up your skin. So we've got sodium hyaluronic, glycerin, panthenol, sodium polyglutamate, and we also have, of course, copper tripeptide 1. Now this texture, it really hydrates the skin. It does deliver on the name. It rapidly plumps your skin. You know, talk about bouncy, juicy skin. It feels so good, looks so good. Love this. And then it does leave that little bit of moisture, that little bit of richness that's not overwhelming, but my combination skin loves and appreciates that moisture. But let's talk about these ingredients, because copper tripeptide 1 is one of my all-time favorite peptides. And it's so funny because I was working on the peptide video that I released. I think it came out right at the beginning of March. I was working on that throughout February, and I really did highlight, a few new products in there, but definitely some old classics. And it was so interesting that this arrived at my door like the day before that video came out, and I was like, oh no, this could have been something to, I could have considered testing it out and then adding it into the video, but it's like, say Leavv, the video's ready to go, right? It's all completed, it's been researched, whatever. So go check that video out though if you love peptides, because there's some really great suggestions in there. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is because I really do feel like this could have been in the video. This is a really nice example of a copper tripeptide 1 serum. And in fact, the ones that I did suggest in that video were from The Ordinary and Neod, which I really do love those. I think they're so potent and so beneficial for the skin, but both of them, I just don't like the textures all that much. I just spent so many minutes just like reveling in it, the hydration and the plumping and the moisture, but it's not too thick, but it's just the right amount for my skin. I love texture. It's a huge element of what makes a skincare product enjoyable for me, and those products deliver benefits. They deliver the ingredients, they deliver results, but they don't deliver the enjoyment and texture. This does all of it. This has such a beautiful, elegant texture that's so enjoyable, and it has the ingredients, and it has the benefits, and because the texture is so beautifully hydrating and moisturizing, you get that added benefit of having your serum really plump up your skin, and really make it feel like pampered and well taken care of, and maybe even a little glowy and dewy. That little extra mile really makes a difference for this serum, in my opinion. And I think it could rival the Neod serum. The price tags are quite similar. We're talking about a little fancier price tag here, but the Biossance actually delivers a little bit more product with a little bit of a nicer texture. So I wanted to do a quick little comparison there too, because this could definitely be like a spiritual addition to my peptide video from the beginning of March, but either way, I've been loving this so much. Next up is the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, adaptogens, and coconut water. Now, speaking of videos I did this month, I just put out a video talking about some of my favorite facial mists last week, and one of the overriding comments from that video was, I can't believe you picked a Mario Badescu product. And guys, me neither. I have never liked anything from this brand, and I've tried a lot from the brand, and I've never featured it on my channel ever, because it just never has it never has impressed me all that much. Their facial sprays are pretty cult classic. Skincare products, you've probably seen them around for a long time. A lot of people like them, but not me. I never have. I just thought they were kind of gimmicky, and they didn't really do anything for me. I'm not here to trash the brand at all, but I just wanted to say this blew me away. Not just because I think it's a great product, but because I've never really been open to this brand until now. And I feel like maybe they're doing something a little bit different. I don't know, maybe they're taking a little bit of a turn. But the reason why I like this product is because it's deeply hydrating. And my skin is thirsty, and I'm very, very picky about what I call very hydrating or deeply hydrating. My standards are very high. This reaches it. I was shocked. I do think the hero here is coconut water. At least my skin and coconut water go together beautifully. And I've used other products in the past with coconut water that have given me that similar deeply hydrating feel, which is incredibly important to dehydrated skin, right? So this really just gets in there and just replenishes the skin. It feels really refreshing. It's not that type of hydration that just sits on top of your skin and just kind of disappears, or just kind of feels nice. This gets in there, and I love that. The adaptogen kind of claim on this I think is interesting. I've used adaptogen skincare before. I kind of think it's sort of a trendy thing. I'm not against adaptogens, but I'll just say I think the coconut water's doing the heavy lifting here. So a big reason why I wanted to name this a March favorite is not just because it impressed me so much by being so hydrating, but this has been an incredible gym bag staple for me. I actually have 2 bottles of this. One lives in my gym bag and one lives right next to my shower. When I get out and I just need like a little like skincare like hit, I will spray this onto my face. But it's been incredibly helpful in my gym bag because I've said this a couple of favorites videos now. I am still swimming, which it's just been amazing. I just love this, like this form of exercise so much. It's kind of a hobby for me. It's like a great way for me to clear my head. I'm getting stronger and I love it. But as I always say, you know, you have to be careful about that chlorine. You got to, you know, be a little extra pampering with your skin to make sure that it doesn't have any adverse effects. So I do have like a little mini routine that I carry with me in my gym bag. When I get out of the pool, I wash my face and I do like a 3-step skincare routine. And this is part of it. And this is so helpful because this replenishes my skin because it can feel a little tight when I get out of the water. So this like just goes in there immediately and replenishes any hydration that might have been lost in the pool, rehydrates my skin. I'll do like 3 layers of this and it's so handy because it's the spray. So I just go spray, 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 and then I can like towel off. I can do something else. I can start packing up, do another spray, spray, spray. I don't have to like touch my face. Like it's just quick, it's easy, it's convenient, and it's hydrating. And then I'll just carry on with a couple other steps and I'm good to go. So yeah, I was definitely impressed by this product just on formulation. I love how convenient it is for this very specific activity. And I was surprised that I was impressed because I've never liked anything from this brand before, but this is definitely a great one that they're offering now. So to wrap up the month, I really want to talk about joy. You know, the first couple of months of 2022 felt kind of sticky. You know, at least for me, it felt that way. It was just, yeah, it was an interesting way to start off the year. Not bad, but just sticky. And, you know, at the end of February, I started to feel that energy just start to shift a little bit. And I talked about that in last month's favorite video about, you know, really kind of letting go of the past, letting go of the old season that was ending, you know, maybe saying, you know, goodbye to some things that maybe weren't serving you, and really just kind of step into the present, looking forward, embracing the new season, the new energy, and the new opportunities. And that's what this month was like for me. As I really started to embrace the new energy and feel that kind of shift into spring, I started to think about joy and playfulness and, you know, dare I say it, happiness, which is a word that I don't know that a lot of us have contemplated on in the last 2 years, you know. Joy did not play a very big part of our lives, maybe a little bit here and there, a pocket, but, you know, it's been tough. And I think that because we're so used to this cycle of things kind of getting a little bit better and then getting a little bit harder and then maybe getting a little bit better and then getting really hard, we're so used to this like cycle now that I think we've forgotten about joy a little bit. And we maybe even feel like guilty for like feeling like we should feel it, or like pursuing joy, making time for our joy, or being very like on display, right, about maybe a joyful moment or just feeling happiness, because the world is tough, right? It is. And I feel a little weird even saying like, go out there and embrace your joy when there is a war going on in Ukraine right now, you know, and there is a migrant crisis happening in Eastern Europe that is going to affect everybody's lives. And I'm sure just like me, you're watching the news every single day, just trying to stay ahead of what's going to happen next, and kind of getting stuck in that loop. If we constantly wait for the world to align with our plans and with us wanting to feel good, it's never going to happen. You can't wait for those things to happen. You have to choose it. You have to actively make that choice, you know, to choose your joy, to choose your happiness. So I want you to think about this, because this is something I've been thinking about, and it's so weird to be like, it's a struggle for me to like allow myself to choose my joy. It is. But this is something I talked about in the past too, about giving yourself permission to take care of yourself. Well, joy is a part of your self-care process, you know, and joy is, you may feel guilty for feeling joyful when times are so hard, but I'll be honest with you, it's infectious, it's contagious. When you radiate your joy, you just embrace it and you just fully live it and choose it for yourself, it will ripple out into your circle of friends and family, and they'll pick up on it. And they might be inspired by your joyful attitude, but they may want to embrace one for themselves. And then that ripples out to their circle of friends and family. And maybe it ripples out over here and it ripples out over there. And eventually you see the big impact of making like a really simple choice. We've got so much opportunity ahead. You know, the future is bright for you, for me, for everybody. We have so much, you know, to look forward to. And there's no reason to wait, right? So choose your joy. So I'm curious to know, what were some of your favorite products from March? Let me know in the comment box below. Now, if you loved this video and you want to see more just like this from me, a little mixture of skincare and self-care, please do consider hitting subscribe before you go. And I do release a lot of new content throughout the week, so you may consider turning on the notifications too, so you're never out of the loop when I drop the new content. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe and joyful. And I'll see you soon. Bye.